Just the best. For
You
the
never.
new one. I heard you say you. I can't hear you if you're talking. Jiggle your cords. Hold it to the left. Turn it a little bit. Just a little bit more. Hello? I can't hear you. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Nothing.
I can hear you
Nothing.
now.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello? Hello?
How about now?
I can hear you, yes. I lost you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
We broke. Never played any of the SOCONs.
I have not, no.
Now, those were really great games. Now they were third person, but one of the best third persons I've ever played. Like you couldn't do the super weird ball situation. It was like a camera, like right behind your head, but uh, you didn't have like a lot of flexibility to look like all the way around. You know.
Yeah.
It was a really good game. I love the comm system, which was really neat. Like as you died, you stayed on your team, but you went in like a separate audio room, and so you couldn't like call out. You couldn't do any of that stuff. And as other people died, they joined the room with you, and it was fun.
Yeah, I never played any of those. Probably because I was just playing Battlefield all the time. Battlefield 4, I still think it's just great, but this one's this one's really not bad. It's well polished.
Yeah, I'm not to look it up.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you
it's
ever get
only
in a match?
nope. I've canceled a couple times and restarted it. Um, I think it's like $9.99 right now. I'm pretty sure the sale didn't run out until the end of this week or maybe mid next week or something.
It's a PSN sale.
Yeah.
You work this weekend?
No, I'm actually off this weekend. I work next weekend, Easter weekend.
Nice.
Yep, I'm glad tomorrow's Friday and I don't have to work. I mean, I have to work tomorrow, but I don't have to work Saturday. My daughter was sick today, so I stayed home with her. And
Oh yeah.
my wife might stay home with her tomorrow.
How'd Pam do with her vaccine shots? Did she ever feel bad?
Yeah, after the second one, she felt bad for about 2 days. She had a fever
I
and
got my first one yesterday. My arm is killing me, but outside of that, I've had nothing else.
that's good. Yeah, she had her first shot didn't bother her at all. The second shot, she had a fever, body aches, chills, fatigue. That lasted for it was almost 2 days. She got the shot at like a 10 on a Friday. She was sick by Friday night at like 7, and she was sick until midday, mid afternoon, Sunday, before she
Did they
started
all go back full time?
at school.
Yeah.
They went they've been going 4 days a week since last week. So they gave all the teachers their second shots 2 weeks before last week to give them a 2 week period to get them in, and then they started sending the kids back 4 days a week after that. So they go Monday and Tuesday, then they're off Wednesday, and they go Thursday and Friday.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, I think our
most of the
boy
kids
goes
are back
back
in
full
school.
time next week.
Yeah, most of the kids are back in school. Pam says very few of them are still doing virtual. They still had the option to, but I think like 75 or more, 80, 85% came back. So
Yeah, I think virtual is going to actually be an offering here, and I think a lot of kids will sign up for it as like a experience.
yeah,
How's
yeah,
work going?
uh, it's, it's going all right. Just kind of curious about who's going to be
Wasn't
our
there like
next.
a position that you had tried for a while back?
Yeah, the county had a building inspector job come over, and I applied for it, but they never did call
Nothing
me.
ever came of that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. That
So
was right as COVID was starting, no?
it was right before. It was like it actually had came open. I guess the winter, like November of 2019, and then whoever they hired, I applied then, and they didn't call me. Then whoever they hired only lasted like a month, and then they reposted it, and I applied again, and I didn't get called. So,
Man, it sucks.
it's just one of those things. But our town manager he's retiring this year. He's been doing it for 40 years or something. I don't know. So the town's trying to figure out who they're going to get to replace him because they're not going to really because he manages the town, but he also goes out and does work. Like whenever a pipe busts, he'll go out and run the backhoe, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Most town managers just sit in the office. They don't get out and get in the ditch. But he does. So they think they're going to find someone to replace him, and
Right, to keep doing that.
I think they're going to find that it's going to be a hard task to fill, especially when they don't want to pay much. But anyway, they got to try to find someone to hire because he's quitting in like September. So they got to get someone in there ahead of time for him to train for a few months. So they better
Are you
get to
thinking
get.
about applying?
Oh no, no, no way, dude! I wouldn't.
No.
No, man, because you're basically on call 24/7. And if one of these lines around here bust, a line could bust at 2 in the morning. If someone don't have no water,
Yeah.
they gonna call you at 2 in the morning. You got to get up and go fix that. No, I don't want
Yeah.
that. And I don't know how you would even enjoy going on vacation because if you're out of town and they call you and it's something major, it may not, maybe nothing happens, but you've always got that in the back of your mind that you can get a phone call at any time.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I don't, I don't care what they pay.
No, that's
I
not
just,
worth it.
it's just a
No.
headache. Well, I like to be able to leave work and go home. I mean, technically I'm on call with my job now, but we don't really have water line bust normally so serious that we have to run 24/7. But whenever there is a water line break, they have to go out and fix it like as soon as possible, especially if it's a big line. So, but I don't have to deal with that. I just have to fill the tank up.
Right.
But in his position, sewer line or water line messes up, you got to go out and fix it right then. And I just, I don't want that headache. Plus, everybody in the
No,
town,
but I don't blame you.
people be fussing about every little thing under the sun and crying about every little thing. It's like, nah, I don't care for that.
How's church going? Did you ever finish our project?
Which one?
The tile.
Yeah, we let's see. I might still have a picture of it. I'll send you. Me and the pastor finished the tile a couple weeks ago. Me and him went out on a Saturday, and I guess we got started about 2, and got done about 8:30 that night. It was fun.
That's a long day.
It was pretty long. Yeah, church is going pretty good. I had a deacons meeting tonight. I have to do it like
Oh yeah.
we have one twice a month on Thursdays, like normally the first and third Thursday of the month. So
What do y'all
I
have to do?
so one meeting we go in and we do like administrative stuff as far as budget wise and making sure we're not whatever and talking
Mm-hmm.
about different issues that go on with that. A prayer meeting where we get together and we pray a lot, and um, we have a book that we're reading, saw in it and learned in it, and thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
What are y'all reading?
it's a book called The Scrappy Church.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty interesting. It's about churches that aren't large, big mega churches, and finding ways to meet the needs of your community, and not feeling like you have to try to compete with a big church. Just meeting the needs of your community, really. It's a pretty interesting. We're only on chapter 1 right now, but it's a pretty interesting book so far. So we went over that and then kind of gave updates because, so each deacon has been assigned so many different families of the members of the church, and even some people who aren't technically members of the church, but they come,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're supposed to like. Well, since we just got assigned them earlier this year, we had to have a goal. We had a goal of like making sure everyone knew who their deacon was, by this meeting tonight, so that if they need anything, they know who to contact, and stuff like that. So, and then if they
Mm-hmm.
tell us, they need prayer for something or they need help with something, we bring it, to the other deacons and we talk about what we can do to help them, stuff like that. So,
It's a. Can you tell me? Is it Methodist?
Baptist. So each meeting that we do lasts from like 6:30 to 9:30 about.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty long.
That's a hefty meeting.
Yeah, we have a lot of good discussion, and several other guys are older and they've been there for a long time and they're very wise, spiritual men. So I enjoy learning from them, hearing things they know, things they've seen and witnessed, and very beneficial. So it's pretty good. It's definitely outside of my comfort zone, but I felt led to do it when asked. So uh, I'm not. I don't think I'm that great of a people person in person. I'm more of I can stay to myself type person, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I do think it's beneficial for me spiritually as well as being able to try to be a help to other people. So
Right.
it's been interesting so far. Like I said, we have meetings twice a month, so that's and like my so each deacon has like a role of a ministry in the church, and mine was
Mm-hmm.
basically a building committee, which is why I was doing the tile because I have building
Okay.
construction background. So it just made sense for me to be doing that. So that's how I got to doing that, and it's been going fine. Just we've been having church, twice, 2 meetings a week. We do one at 9 and then one at 11. Most of our old members come to the 9 o'clock, and pretty much everyone at the 9 o'clock wears masks. So the older people like that.
Right.
But now a lot of them are actually getting vaccines. One of the older members, he didn't have his mask. He came to 11 o'clock last week, and he doesn't hear very good. And I was trying to talk to him about something, and he kept saying, I can't understand you. So I finally had to pull my mask down to talk to him. He's like, oh, have you had your vaccine yet? And I said, no. He said, that's why you're wearing that mask, ain't it? I was like, yeah. Thinking I'm just trying to be nice because I know you hadn't.
Yeah.
You're an older dude, and I'm just trying to be respectful, homie. And he was just kind of
That's
laughing.
funny.
I thought it was pretty funny, but anyway, he wasn't being rude. It was just funny. But so we've been doing that, but we're trying to figure out when we're going to be able to just go back to doing one service
Yeah.
instead of two. I mean, we've been doing it, but it's a whole lot of extra work when you're doing two services.
Does Pam do anything like kids ministry?
Yeah, she so every so often she will actually watch the kids in the nursery, like the toddlers or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So sometimes she's doing that, and then um, sometimes she'll do like children's church, which we have halfway through the service, all the children leave and go to children's church. So sometimes she rotates on that, so she rotates from time to time, and other than that, she also started doing. Um, so we have Awana at our church. Do you know what that is?
A what?
It's called Awana. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but um, basically it's normally before COVID we used to have a meal for the kids and their families at 6,
Oh, okay.
and then from 6:30 to 8 or something, they would um, go to different classes depending on their um, whatever grade level they're in, like K through
Mm-hmm.
second's in a group, and third through fifth is in a group, or something like that. Anyway, so this year we hadn't done this Awana since COVID started, and they wanted to start it back up. But right now we're not doing the fellowship meal. We're just doing the Awana stuff, which we did a test run 2 weeks ago to see if it would work and if we could do it without people getting sick and stuff, and nobody got sick, so that was good. So we're going to start that back in mid-April, I think. And so they added a new class. I think it's 7th and 8th graders, or 6th and 7th graders, or something. And Pam volunteered to teach that class, so she'll be teaching that class
Is
every
that
every
that's the
week.
grade she works with in school, right?
No, she's a guidance counselor. She deals with
Oh.
K through 7 in guidance at 2 different schools. She has 2 different
Right.
schools that she rotates. She goes to one school one day and one the next, and uh, so she does that at school as a guidance counselor. But she'll be teaching that class. I think from now until summer we're just going to do it every other week. To I think the idea is to have it for one week, give it a week off, and see if anyone's gotten sick, and then
Mm-hmm.
pick back up the next week. So um, that's our next, I think, thing going on at church. As far as I think we'll do that until June or mid-June or something, and then they normally take a break in the summer, and then come back in the fall when school starts back. So that's really
I
been.
figured with your job at the city, they might try to get you to get the vaccine.
Mm, no one has mentioned it, and I kind of hope they don't because
Yeah,
I don't really plan to. Um,
yeah,
I feel like I should be fine if I get it, and Pam's vaccinated, so Jada's fine. You
totally.
know, I'm not really around people that much with my job. You know, I'm around one other dude most of the time, and that's it. So I think for my job in particular, they don't really see a need to ask us to get one, but I might get it eventually. But right now, I don't have any plan to. I mean, I'm not even eligible to right now because I'm not old enough.
Oh yeah, here that it's open up
Oh, really?
16 and above. Yeah.
No, I think around here they're still just giving it to old people. Like you got to be
Oh yeah.
62 or 65 or something, or if you work in the school or hospital or something like that. So I'm not even eligible right now.
I got you.
So I'll just wait a little while. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I wasn't gonna get it either, but they've got so many of them here. They're begging people to take it because they have a shelf life, and so I was like, well, screw it. I might as well go get it.
yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Now here we got, I mean, and just where I live, it's mostly old people, so they definitely need it more so than I do. So, and a lot of them still haven't gotten it. So I don't mind waiting. So, but other than that, just everything is going pretty good. Just really busy with when
Yeah,
just taking on the deacon role and
totally.
trying to like get in touch with these people and kind of get to know them, and then dealing with stuff with the building. And like last last Saturday we had our cleanup day for the spring, which we asked people in the church to come and help clean the church real good and fix stuff. And so me and this other young guy who's younger than I am, he's probably in his early 20s. Um, we're the two newest deacons, and he happened to take over the ground stuff, which is outside work. So me and him had to be in charge of like setting up this cleaning
Yeah,
day.
the big ones.
And
Yeah.
so me and him were laughing. It was like, yeah, they just gave it to the new guys. It's like, here, you guys do
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's guys' turn.
So he was like in charge of getting all this mulch there and getting people out there with mulch to mulch the flower beds and cut down a few trees that were getting too close to the building and stuff like that. And then I was in charge of like getting everyone inside, cleaning windows and cleaning out the refrigerator and the freezer. We had like an ice maker and just
Mm-hmm.
straightening things up and getting like dead ladybugs out of the lights, just random stuff basically like that needed to be cleaned up. So like we had to schedule that, get that going. I had to call and get like I think I got 50 biscuits, 40 or 50 biscuits. I think it was 40 biscuits and 2 boxes of donuts for everyone's breakfast that
Nice.
came. And I think we had
How
one
many? How
biscuit
big's the
left.
church?
Um, well,
That's funny. Yeah, food
before
never lasts.
no, before COVID, we were averaging about 130 a week, and right now we're averaging about 130 to 135 a week
Nice.
between the two services that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not huge by any means. Um,
It sounds like it's an old established church.
it's actually this is all right. So this is odd. Years ago, we were going to a church that we ended up leaving. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, this church that we're going to now actually is was started by so before we were going to the church that we left, that church had a split,
Mm-hmm.
And the people who split from that church started this church. What's interesting about it is years ago when we started going to the church, we ended up eventually leaving. Pam told me that, because that was the church she grew up going to, and she said that the people who actually left that church were the actual more spiritual people, right? And they're the ones who left and started this other church. Like the ones who stayed at the other church. There's a reason why we left that church, and it was because of those people. And they didn't have a care about what Christ wanted. It was just about, this is our church, and this is how we want it, and this is what it's going to be. If you were against that, then they would go as far as to try to ruin your life if they could. So they didn't care. That's just the type of people that they are. So anyway, this church was started about 10 years ago, or maybe 12 years ago, when those two churches split. So it's not really an old church, but a lot of the members,
Right, there's some history.
are older and were already established in their faith for quite a long time. So
How big's the town that y'all live in?
it's not very big. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 stoplights, and 3 of them are like together in one intersection. Let's see. I don't know how many people live in the town, but it's not many. When I read meters, we got like 700 meters. That's businesses and homes in town. Our whole county's only got like 16,000 people, so
Oh, okay.
it's not.
What's like the primary job there?
There isn't one. Walmart, a grocery store.
So is it like a farming community, or?
There are some farms around, but there used to be some like plants, factories or whatever. But actually, one of the last ones is the Hanes brand, which used to be like one of the best paying jobs you can get around here. And they actually just announced this past week that they were closing, and like they were closing that plant, which is like 120 jobs will get lost. But I mean, really, most people that you either work in the schools here, you work in the grocery store, at Walmart. There's some local businesses, locally owned businesses. They're very small, only have a couple employees. There's a Hardee's, a Wendy's, and outside of that,
There's like big city.
I don't know what your definition of big city is, but Martinsville, where they have the NASCAR race, is like 35 minutes east of us, and it's not even that. Martinsville's not really that big city. I mean, I would say Christiansburg, which is right beside of Blacksburg, which is where Virginia Tech is. That's about 45 minutes from here. That's where my brother lives. Then you got Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is about an hour and 10 minutes from here.
Yep.
Greensboro, North Carolina, where they have the NCAA tournaments at times. Those are like the biggest cities. Roanoke, Virginia is another one. It's like an hour and 10 minutes from here. Pretty much anywhere you want to go to a city from here is about an hour. Pretty much.
Yeah. So y'all at like the foot of the mountains, in the mountains?
Yeah, we're at the very foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Okay. That's really pretty in that whole kind of area over there. I've never been there, but
yeah,
I know people have.
Yeah, it's something that we've talked about before. How it's easy for us to overlook how beautiful it is here because we live here and have lived here all of our lives. But like recently, this young couple came down. Like one of their family members goes to our church, and they're from They live in Pennsylvania. These people do. And the young man was talking to me, and he was saying he was just talking about just noticing how beautiful it was here. And he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
when we came to that mountain, you know," and he was just talking about it, and he was like, "It's just so beautiful here." And this was like in the wintertime. It's not even, you know, stuff growing or anything,
Yeah,
you know.
I've seen a mountain like 4 times my whole life, so.
And he was just talking about, you know, how awesome it was, and you know, I was like, "Yeah," I said, "You know, I grew up here, but it's easy for people like myself who grew up in it to forget how beautiful it is because we see it every day,
Yeah.
you know." But it's a very pretty area. And a lot of times, you know, me and Pam would go somewhere out of town, and then we find ourselves coming back, and we're like, you know, um, this really wasn't any prettier than where we live.
Yeah.
Like we could have just
Totally.
stayed home and seen something just as nice. But, I mean, it's good to get out and go places. So, but we just kind of talk to ourselves, and we're like, you know, we really overlooked what we have at home.
Yeah. Stay home.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a quiet place. I mean, like I said, we got 8, maybe 17,000 people in the entire county that we live in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
I
our
mean, I live in
crime's pretty
a
low
two
here.
by 2 mile. It's not even a city. It's considered a community. It's not even a town, and we've got 16,000 people that live in this 2 mile by 2 mile square area.
Yeah, I mean, it takes me to drive from where we live in about the center of our county, and it still takes me like 15 to 20 minutes, no matter what direction I drive, to get out of the county. So,
That's crazy.
in that amount of space, you got
20 minutes, you're in downtown New Orleans.
yeah, it's definitely a quiet life, and you know, it's one reason why we
Yeah,
like living here is don't have
totally.
don't have a big issue with like most of your crime is like domestic, you know, domestic violence, and you know, someone robbing something, you know, but you just don't have a whole big issue with crime. I think there's been like 1 or 2 murders in the last 10 years or something.
Yeah,
Well, I take that back. I guess the last couple of years there's been a few more, but it's just a
nobody
quiet,
there to murder.
it's just a quiet place. Well, most people
Totally,
here, well, everyone knows most people here own guns, so if you're going to go murder someone, they're probably going to shoot you. So probably not a good idea,
totally.
you know. But it's it's definitely a laid back atmosphere.
That's an area Tiff and I would always want to go and visit. Got a friend in, I don't know, I think North Carolina. I don't know where though. That just moved there, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and just started a church up there. And we've always talked about going up there. I've always been told how pretty it is.
You should. Carolina's got some nice areas too,
Yeah,
for sure. And even the Tennessee Smoky Mountains. That's
yeah.
probably one of the other of my favorite places besides here. And that's actually where we got married. It was in the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
That's cool. I think you showed me a picture of that one time.
Yeah, we got a video of our actual wedding on YouTube somewhere. I think it's on Pam's YouTube.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just me and her and the pastor. There ain't no one else. But yeah, this whole area of mountains is pretty sweet. I mean, it's not as big as like the Colorado mountains or anything like that, but
Right.
those are like mountains.
Well, for somebody from the bayou, those are mountains too.
So how about yourself? How's y'all's church going?
You know, COVID's made it made it really hard. We're doing something really different, and you know, it, meeting in homes is not really something people signed up to do during COVID. So it's been quiet. It's really been my entire focus has been on our online experiences, and we've had a couple people start to come out to our house the last couple of weeks. So um, you know, it's hard, man. It's hard to. I'm not really sinking any money into advertisements right now, just because I don't think it just feels like a waste of money. And um, so as we kind of come out of this, and probably when we start getting through the summer, I'll start advertising again. I'll let people know what we do, and it's also really different. And so, you know, it's I think the majority of the growth will come as the people who are connected to us start to reconnect, and they begin to kind of spread the word. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's hard. It's really hard. It's draining me, but you know, trying to do the best I can do with it.
yeah, that was that's kind of what my pastor was talking about tonight. Like when COVID first hit, like how quickly we had to change, like what we had been doing and trying to figure out, how can we still provide service and worship, collectively
Yeah.
when we can't meet, and setting up for streams, and at first we were doing, we used to have Wednesday night Bible studies during Awana. So we were trying to set up. Your mic is going crazy. We were trying to set up streams for all that, and organizing like Zoom uh, Zoom meetings for the Bible studies, and it worked. But it was definitely a lot more work trying to organize all that, get all that going. So it's definitely been an interesting last year. I think for everyone, but definitely for churches trying to figure out how to reach people.
Um,
You cutting in and out.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Got me?
Uh huh.
Uh, what were we saying? I don't forgot what I was freaking saying. I lost my whole train of thought. But oh yeah, I was just that's what I was gonna say. It's the pastors who help us. They've had to step back because they just started a new business right as COVID started, so they really got to
Mm.
put all their focus and attention to building their new business, and so it means it's just me doing everything by myself, and it's it's hard, man. It's hard to do that, plus work a crazy job with crazy hours,
Hmm.
and run the gaming community, and it's been tough, but keep pushing, man. Push as hard as we can, as long as we can. That's all we